If we are the chosen people, who are you to tell us what to do? Who are you? Who is the international community to tell Israel what to do? International law? Oh, wonderful thing. It doesn't apply on us. It applies on any other place on earth, not on Israel. Because we are the chosen people, don't you understand it? The second very deep-rooted value is obviously the value of we, the victims, not only the biggest victims, but the only victims around. I know many occupations which were longer than Israeli occupation, than the Israeli occupation. Some were even more brutal, even though it's getting harder and harder to be more brutal than the Israeli occupation. I don't recall one occupation in which the occupier presents himself as the victim. Not only the victim, the only victim. If to quote here the late Golda Meir, whom I quoted also last time, I know, but it is so unforgettable I have to use it again. She once said that we will never forgive the Arabs for forcing us to kill their children.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000. This is Brother Yerushalayim, coming at you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash. The name of this one is, Are You the Chosen People? Alright. Are you the chosen people? And we're speaking about this guy on screen here. You know, this Israeli here. Alright. Yeah, this is really here, you know. I don't even know his name, but the beloved brother Abanaya sent this to me, so you know I do a video on it, all right, because a lot of edification could come out on this point, all right. You know, actually a couple videos, Lord willing, you know. But he said he said if we are the chosen people, you know, and then he said they're the only victims and the biggest victims and the only victims, you know. Then he went on to talk about you know, they're the only persons, the only victims who are actually occupiers, the ones who occupy the land, you know, which is bullshit. We all know that the person who being occupied is usually the victim, all right, and it's no different there with these Palestinians. However, we don't really care about those Palestinians either, because you know the land belongs to none of them, all right. Here it is, this guy, this hypocrite, which he's a hypocrite, you know, comes on and talks about, you know, Golda Meir, who was the former prime minister of the state of Israel, all right, you know, and talking about this woman says, you know, we will never forgive these Palestinians because he forced them to kill their children. No, what other bullshit is that? You know, it's crap. You know, and it just fits in with the lies, and it also points to who these people truly are. They are the father of lies. Okay? You know, it also shows that, you know, it also points to them having the sword, the blessing of the sword. Alright? That's how you know they are Edomites. Alright? Because that's what they do with the land of Israel since inception. Alright? Let's see how many wars they had. Alright? Let's check this. How many wars did the state of Israel have? Alright, it says the Arab-Israeli War, a series of military conflicts between Israeli forces and various Arab forces, notably in 1948, which is when they came into the land for the most part, to 49, 1956, 1967, 1973, 1980, 2006. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 wars. Now, war again is 7, you know, which is completion, which is popping off right now, which is going to lead on to World War III, right? With you know, basically with the fake attempt, which was fake, all right. The fake attempt to show that, you know, the Hamas came in there and they, you know, they pillaged and whatever the case is. You know, it's all pack of nonsense. We heard from even inside stories where they say that the Israeli intelligence, the Ish's intelligence, I should say, basically come out and say that, that it had to be an inside job because, they know if a cockroach or a bird flew over that fence. You usually know that. Alright? But this devil, no matter what, he's a liar, and this proves he is the wicked. Alright? It proves he is the wicked. Now let's get a couple precepts. I'll start in the book of Psalms. Psalm 58 and verse 3. It says, the wicked, in fact, I'm going to start at verse 2, says, yea, in heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Because, they did all that, set up all that whole propaganda in order to go and take the rest of the land that the Palestinians were occupying. Alright? It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Right? Pack of lies. Just like the fact that, talking about how they are the true chosen people. And notice he said if. Why didn't say yes we are the chosen people? No, he said if. It's a fucking liar. Alright, it says they go astray as soon as they born speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth the ear, which will not hearken to the voice of the charmers, charming never so wisely. They don't want to hear the truth. They hate the truth why? Because they are enemies of the truth. They are Esau, Edom. Our Lord Yahweh Shai spoke about these people. In the book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. He was speaking to the wicked Israelites here. But he was speaking about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which is the wicked according to Malachi 1 and 4. Right, Edom. Right, and they are Edom. They're not the chosen people. These people are Khazars, converts to so-called Judaism, which they don't even follow the scriptures. They follow the Kabbalah magic, and they read and follow the Talmud, the Babylonian Talmud. Alright? And that's just facts. Alright? John 8 and verse 44. It says, you are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, right? From the time he was in serpent, right? And when he was Cain, he killed Abel. And that's his Esau, Edom, same spirit coming back. The spirit of Esau. Alright? He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Alright? And this is what it is. And one of the main reasons why, recently here there was an Israeli woman, an Ish woman, who came on and said, our biggest problem right now are the blacks, the so-called blacks, in America. Why? Why is that a problem? Because the Lord has given us this truth. He has opened up our minds to this truth, to the understanding of who we are as the Hebrew Israelites. Alright? And that comes in direct conflict with their lie that they set up. The covering cast that they set up, to protect and to for them to assume our identity as the chosen people. Alright? But it's been destroyed. Now let me read this next verse, John 8 and verse 45. It says, Yahweh Shai speaking, and it says, and because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Yeah, they don't believe us, but it doesn't change the facts. The book of Isaiah, chapter 25, verse 7, what does it say? And he will destroy in this mountain, what the mountain represents, rulership, the rulership of Esau, which starts with the lead tribe of Esau, Edom, the tribe of Amalek, right, which are comprised of the 13 banking families, first and foremost, and these rest of Ishers who calling themselves Israelis over in our homeland. Alright? Says he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, like the lies, right? And the veil that is spread over all nations. So the lies are who we are. We so-called Africans, blacks, Native Americans, Latinos, you name it. All the worst The words are the words, bywords, and proverbs they use first. But the facts are, we are the chosen people, and that's what they're afraid of. You know? But this devil, he's just doing what he was created to do. Be wicked. Alright? Be wicked. Alright? You know? He goes from land to land, taking stealing the men's heritage. Alright? Micah chapter 2, verse 1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds, which is what, their round tables, the Jekyll Island, all right, the WEF, Davos, Switzerland, when they go to Davos, all right, that's them working iniquity upon their beds, their round tables. When the morning is light, they practice it, right, because it is in the power of their hand. So they meet in quiet, in secret, in darkness. That's what darkness represent, you know, in the wicked confusion, you know, in the secret places. They practice it because it is in the power of the hand, and eventually they practice the plans. They think up evil plans and they practice it. All right. Let me read in the NLT. It says, I love it. The heading says, judgment against wealthy oppressors. These guys are wealthy. These guys own the whole world, all the known world, through companies, capital venture companies like State Street, BlackRock. All right. It says, what sorrow awaits you who lie awake at night, thinking up evil plans. You rise at dawn and hurry to carry them out. Simply, Salakia, because you have the power to do so. All right. Now I'm going to jump back. In fact, let me read verse 2. It says, in NLT, it says, when you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. Hey, this is what they did. They wanted the whole land of Israel. And, you know, they found a way that they could attack and kill these Palestinians. That's really what it is. It says, when you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance, just as it wasn't their family inheritance. They just occupied the land when we were scattered through the four corners of the earth. The true Israelites, that is. And these heathens know that. This is why the scriptures talk about, it says, an ambassador. An ambassador was sent among the heathen, because Gamal Abdel Nasser, can't remember how it is. I think it's Gamal Abdel Nasser, if I'm not mistaken. He was a former president of Egypt, and he said, hey, you'll never have peace in the Middle East. That's roughly paraphrasing, because these Jews went away black, you know, and came back white. In other words, these are not the people. Well, let me read this here. Jeremiah 49 and Salakia, verse 14. You know where it is, the flu. I have heard a rumor from Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, and an ambassador is sent unto you, right? Is sent unto the heathen, Salakia, saying, gather ye together and come against her and rise up to the battle. All right. For lo, I will make rise up to the battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. And this is why this second verse here is why, you know, all the nations, you know, they grouping up together right now with Russia and China to come against these Israelis, these issues. But the rumor was that the ambassador was sent among the heathen, right? You know, saying, gather you together, come against and rise up in battle. So it starts with these Islamists, these Islamist states, these Ishmaelites. All right, it starts there. Well, this man is a devil. Now let's go back to the last precept in Micah. So this is what they do. Let me read over Micah 2 and verse 2 in the NLT. When you want a piece of land, you find a way to seize it. When you want someone's house, you take it by fraud and violence. You cheat a man of his property, stealing his family's inheritance and even your name. You try to steal our name. Verse 3 says, but this is what Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai says, I will reward your evil with evil. You won't be able to pull your neck off the noose. You will no longer walk about proudly, for it will be a terrible time. you know, and it's going to be, they're going to be finished. It says, in that day, your enemies will make fun of you by singing this song of despair about you. We are finished, completely ruined. The Heavenly Father has confiscated our land, taking it from us. He has given our fields to those who betrayed us. You know, and that happened to Israel. You know, our land was taken away, but these devils here, this is the end for them. This is the last hurrah, you know, for Esau, Edom. All right. Isaiah 5:8, it says, woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place. And this is what these devils did, you know, in the agreement, in the Balfour Declaration, you know, which is prophesied in the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. All right. They took our land with the pleasure of their hearts and appointed unto the people. All right. And they from since then they made certain agreements or covenants, as you will, with the other heathen, with the Ishmaelites, you know, those Muslims, and basically they didn't keep any. All right, so they keep on expanding, taking over portions of their land. This is what's continually happening. So they were laying field to field till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. And that alone again proves that who this devil is. When you go to Psalms 55 verse 20, it says what? He had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him, right? He had broken his covenant. This is why the Islamists were rising up, these Islamic countries, and that's why they're rising up now. He breaks the covenant, which means he's the wicked. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, right? Like this guy here, talking about how they're the chosen people, they're the only victims. Yeah, you know, if you didn't know better, you might believe him. But he's a damn liar. But his words are smoother than butter. Smoother than butter. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You know, so these people are dangerous people. All right? You know, they are dangerous people, man. And here is this guy coming on, which I'm going to go back to the video. All right, he's coming on and talking about, he quoting Golda Meir, you know, and all this thing, and how, you know, they forced them to kill. Golda Meir was the same one, was one of them who was involved in forming this Israeli state back in 1948, and she boasts and said that was her greatest accomplishment. In other words, her greatest accomplishment is keeping you blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans destroyed. All right? All right? You know? And one of her famous quotes is, you'll never find a better partner than adversity. You know? Which, doesn't it sound familiar? Yeah, this is the same manifesto, the same belief of these globalists, namely Klaus Schwab and all these others from the World Economic Forum. All right? They said what? Basically, you can't waste a good emergency, adversity. Right? So you'll never find a better partner than an emergency. Why? For them to get what they want. It's the same thing they did, you know, with World War II. They created a world war from 1939 to 1945. All right, starting with the Nazi invasion of Poland, where Hitler, who by the way is an Ish, he's one of the Ishes. He actually is a bastard son of the Rothschild. All right, you know, he's a illegitimate son. His real name was Adolf Scheckelberger. Adolf Scheckelberger. Not Hitler, Scheckelberger. You know? And by the way, he pushed the same socialist agenda which they're pushing right now. You know? They claim that he didn't like the issues, you know, but he was one. He was so-called one. Even though they say he was so-called anti-Sem, which is no word as Sem is Shem. Alright? You know? And all the so-called persecution that he orchestrated, you know, they did all this, you know, so that people have sympathy on the so-called Zionists, so that, you know, they could justify coming in there in 1948, you know, the Balfour Declaration, you know, saying that, oh no, it's 6 million of us were killed, and no, it's bullshit. You know, even one of their own rabbis from New York, Joseph Mizrachi, whatever the fuck his name is, you know, whatever his name is, you know, he said, you know, hey, it wasn't even 1 million were killed. you know, because there was a high assimilation rates, as he put it. You know, it was inflated because of that. You know, he said at least 5 million of them were goyim. And this is what the Lord is doing to these devils now. He's exposing them on a high level. This is Psalms 64, verse 8. What does it say? It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. All right? You know? So the devilry is being exposed. That they're not the people. And why? The real people of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will be going through hell. Alright? The real people of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will be under the curses. Deuteronomy 28. You know? From verse 15 on down to verse 68. You know? So this guy, you know, with everything he said, you know, makes sense. It goes right back to Esau, Edom. It proves who they are. And the fact that he quoting on this old lady Golda Meir, you know, which basically she made a statement also, even a feministic statement. She says whether women are better than men, I can't say, but I can say that they are certainly no worse. Which means saying men and women are equals. And this is what these devils been pushing. What they really are, they are thieves and liars. And this is why Yahweh Hashem Yahushai said, you know, he gonna deal with these thieves. Right? I believe it's Zechariah 5 and verse 4. Yeah, I'll read from verse 2. Yeah. No, verse 1. Let's read from verse 1, Zechariah 5 and 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll, right, a chariot, right, which are the glory of the Lord, the angels. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. So it was a small chariot. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that is stealeth shall be cut off as on that side, on this side, according to it. And everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on this side, according to it. And they are the ones who stole, right? These issues were the ones who owned the slave ships. All right, that's facts. They own the slave ships, and they also man the slave ships. All right, that took us into captivity. So they are thieves, and we be found in right now. We found in their hand. The scripture say the man who steals like that is be put to death. You know, a man, he steals a man and be found in his hand, he be put to death. All right. So they stole and they swear. You know, they swear on the Bible. They swear that they are the people of the Lord. Right? But here what it's saying, the Lord is saying, verse 4, Zechariah 5 and 4, I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. So these chariots, right? And into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. Over there in Israel right now, in Jerusalem, they're having a lot of chariot sightings also, as well as in America. All right? And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof. Right? So these men, their kingdom gonna go down. You know, all the lies will be being exposed right now. Alright, because who this guy really is, he's the basis of men. You're just looking at the basis of men. The lowest class of men, the wicked. That's what that face represents. Now let's play some more of this here.
We are the victims. We are forced to kill their children. Poor us. And as the victim and the only victim in history, again, it enables us the rights to do whatever we want, and nobody is going to tell us what to do. Because
you see that? So this is what they really wanted. That's the reason why they took over our identity. You know, they didn't want anybody. They wanted to be able to do their wickedness, and nobody be able to tell them what to do. You know? But no, we tell them, we standing on our feet and we tell them. And this is why the scripture says, you know, they're gonna, let's get at Book of Revelation 11 and verse 8, they're going to stand in great fear. Right? Revelation 11 and yeah. Revelation 11 and 8. Let me start at verse 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is what? Which is spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified. So in America, spiritual Sodom and Egypt is America. Babylon the Great, also known as Babylon the Great. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies. Why we dead? Because we don't know who the hell we are. You know, we have no idea, right? Calling ourselves all different names, right? These heathens see our dead bodies 3.5 days, in which represent 350 years, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in grave. Nobody told us who we are, who we were, all right? And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, right? They were rejoicing and making merry all the time. Everything was well and good. When we was foolish, we didn't know who the hell we were, right? And shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. So even to our land, you know, they gifted our land into their own hands, all right? That was done by Arthur Balfour and Lord Rothschild, 1948, right? Balfour Declaration. And after 3 days and a half, which is the same 350 years, the spirit of life, which is the Rakah Kodash, from the Heavenly Father, entered into them. First starting with Elder High Priest Abba Bivens. Alright? You know, it entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. So this is what's happening right now. Great fear is falling upon them. This is why the devil is going to have to come down with great wrath. Because he knows the prophecies. He knows that when we rise up, it's the end of him. And his whole roost, his whole lie is falling right down. You know. Let's get the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. Let's start off verse 1. It says, Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear. Right? They troubled with terrible fear. And when a dog or a wild animal is backed into a corner with terrible fear, what does it do? Strike out. This is why Revelation 12 and 12 said the devil going to come down with great wrath. Because he knoweth he have but a short time. It says, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they look for. So things going to get real very soon. Right? They're going to have to come and take down the internet. You know, hear them talking about these things. I think it was the Canadian prepper was talking about they having they're gonna have some cyber attacks which gonna shut down certain things. And this is what the reason why they're doing it is because why the Jake is waking up. Right? The word is being preached and Jake is waking up. The elect is waking up. Alright? Now let's go here. Let's play some more of this.
To this, there is a third very deep-rooted value. And this is the very deep belief, again, everyone will deny it, but if you scratch under the skin of almost every Israeli, you'll find it there. The Palestinians...
Yeah, you'll find fucking wickedness. That's what you're going to find there. Evil.
Palestinians are not equal human beings like us.
Yeah, and even the Palestinians, which are Ishmaelites, they are higher level than them. Right? Because that's the hierarchy. They're the sons of the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, the sons of men. They're the 16 heathen nations. And the sons of God. Right, which are the Israelites, you know, but here it is, this devil, as usual, serpent-like, you know, flipping things around. Let's go.
They are not like us. They don't love their children like us. They don't love life like us. They were born to kill. They are...
And really that's Esau, Edom. What's the scripture say about Esau, Edom? It's a lie again. Everything coming out of this man's mouth is a fucking lie. Is it Habakkuk 2? And verse 4 it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. That same guy talking there. His soul ain't right in him. He's too proud. Yeah? But the just shall live by his faith. You know? And in fact, I like the NLT. It says, look at the proud. They trust in themselves, and their lives are crooked. But the righteous will live by their faithfulness to the Heavenly Father. Alright? Now, let's go to verse 5 in the King James Version. It says, yea, also, because he transgressed by wine, which is his philosophies. Right? The wicked ass philosophies. And they say that they are the Lord's chosen people, and these Amalekites. You know? He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarged his desire as hell, right? And is as death. So he want the whole land. He didn't want no Palestinians anywhere close there. Right? He want our whole land. Right? And is as death and cannot be satisfied. But gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. Alright? This is what these devils doing. You know? They're arrogant, you know, but they are like hell and death. You know? They are the ones who are killers. They are the ones who were the blessings of the sword when they go back to the book of Genesis. You know, Isaac blessed them with what? The sword. Alright? They are the weapon of the Lord on the left hand side. Right? The sword of the Lord.
They were born to kill. They are cruel. They are sadists. They have no values, no manners.
He's speaking about his own self. Even the prophet Job spoke about that in Job 30 from verse 1. You know? He talk about them. They used to bray. You know? Like donkeys. And smell stink. These Edomites. In fact, let's get at Job chapter 30. And verse 1 it says, but now they which are younger than I have me in derision. Yeah, in the spirit, Esau was younger than Jacob. Right? Even though he came out first. Right? It says, whose fathers I would have disdained to set with the dogs of my flock. Why? Because these Edomites like to interfere with animals too. You know what that means? Alright? That's how nasty they were. It says, yea, whereto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished. Alright? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness in former time, desolate and waste, who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. Right? You see, eat these wild greens on the bush. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Right? To dwell in the cliffs of the valleys and in the caves. Right? That's what they call themselves, Caucasian. The Caucasus Mountains, Georgia, Russia, that's where they were in for 1,000 years. After the Roman Empire, the pagan Roman Empire fell. Alright? Of the earth and in the rocks, so they used to drag on all fours. They are the what they call in the movie Planet of the Apes, the Beastman. They are the Beastman in the rocks. Among the bushes they brayed because they couldn't speak proper language. Under the nettles where they gathered. They were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. They're nasty. Alright, but yet he coming and talking about these heathens, they're wicked too and nasty as well. But they are the lowest. They are the lowest of the low. The scripture talk about the Lord set up the basis of men, Daniel 4, verse 17. You know? You know? And now they looking at us like we low. Alright, verse 9 says, and now am I their song, yea, I am their byword. They abhor me, they flee far from me, and spare not to spit in my face. Yeah, all that. But they were the ones who put us in captivity. But it was all the plan of the Lord anyway. You know, to punish us for our sin. But we went off. Alright, let's continue here.
Look how they kill us. This is very, very deep-rooted in Israeli society, and maybe that's the key issue. Because as long as this continues, nothing will move. As long as most of the Israelis don't perceive the Palestinians as equal human beings, we are so much better than them. We are so much developed than them. And we are so much human than them.
No, you're a devil.
As long as this is the case, all our dreams, and we have some dreams, and I'll get to them, all
a red devil.
Our dreams will never become true as long as this core issue will not change.
Alright, and they're devils. Basically, that's what it is. You know? You know, they made us into a laughing stock for many years. So, you know, so that no one would think that we of all people are the real chosen people. You know? Nobody would think twice that, hey, those people are the chosen people. Let's get some precepts. Psalm 44, verse 14. It reads, thou makest us a byword among the heathen, a shaking of the head among the people. This is what they did. Now let's get to Deuteronomy. This is the curses here. This is the reason why we were so destroyed. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15, it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now let's jump down to verse 37. It says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. In other words, they call us something nigger, they call us pick, wetback, sambo, you know, you name it. Among all nations, whether Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai shall lead thee. This is why this happened. Right? Now let's get a couple more precepts. Close this out. Malachi chapter 2, verse 9. What does it say? It says, therefore have I also made you contemptible and base before all the people, accordingly as ye have not kept my ways. Right? We broke the covenant, but have been partial in the law. So we didn't obey the whole law. Alright? But now we have grace through Yahweh Shai Mashiach, our Lord. Alright? Now, let's get another precept. Jeremiah 15, verse 5. It says what? For who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem? Or who shall bemoan thee? Or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? Nobody the answers. Nobody cares about us. Alright? In the NLT it says, who will feel sorry for you, Jerusalem? Who will weep for you? Who will even bother to ask how you are? No, nobody. You know? And that just proves again, you know, that they're not the people. Why? Because at the end of the day, you have America backing them up all the way. America is the one taking pity in them, you know, forking out billions of dollars every budget for them, for these guys, for these people over there. Alright? Other people in the world have shown them sympathy. Alright? So they definitely ain't the people. They don't fit prophecy. Alright? They don't fit prophecy. So at the end of the day, you disproved. Alright, they disproved. It's all been a lie. Alright, it's all a lie, and you've been disproved. This devil. You know? I pray this lesson was edifying. You know? I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of the great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Till next time, Abad Babal and Shalom.